Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're about to tackle our very next project, and that's going to be making a set of pop-up bench dogs. And I'm going to be using some of these magnetic push pins that they make for cabinets. That's going to be the spring-loaded mechanism. You can order these off Amazon in like a 10-pack or whatever. Can't remember the price on them, but they won't too much. They're about, I think, 3/8 inch diameter. Can't remember. Yeah, just about 3/8. So when I make a 3/4 inch dowel, there'll be plenty of room or wood still left after I drill the hole. So the goal is to make some 3/4 inch dowels, and you could just go ahead and buy, oak or pine dowels and make them that way. But again, I have a bunch of scrap. This is some walnut, and I have some smaller pieces of mahogany. So I'm gonna make my own dowels. I'm gonna rip it over on the table saw down to 3/4 by 3/4, and then run them through the router with a 3/8 inch router bit to create a 3/4 inch dowel, sand them up, and then we're going to go through and drill the holes necessary to add our push pins, and then we're going to auger out the holes here to make it the proper depth, and then we'll have pop-up bench dogs in our vise and along the rows directly in front of the vise. So let's get started on that project, because these pop-up bench dogs will work with the vise, and they can pop up and I can help hold the board down going this way. I want them to pop up probably about a 1/2 inch or so I have to do some math and figure out how long I need them to be. But the first step is to get them all down to 3/4 by 3/4. This is just slightly under, so I might make them all this size. This is like just under 3/4, so I might make everything this size just so they fit in nice and easy, and there's less sanding on me a little further down the road. And then I do need to make some test pieces before I actually hit the router table out of some pine or something, so that way I know how it's actually going to come out on the router table. So let's get started on that process over on the table saw. Alright, so the first step to making custom dowels is to mill all your rough material to the proper size. In this case, we're making 3/4 inch dowels, so we're going to mill up some 3/4 by 3/4 inch blanks. The next step, we'll be heading over to the router table with a 3/8 inch bit to actually create the perfect dowels. Alright, so the baseline setup for this procedure is typically to make sure that your bearing is perfectly flush with your fence, and that your cutting edge right here is perfectly level with your base right here. So the first thing I'm going to do is use my square to give myself a flat reference edge. Alright, there's two important procedures on this. Is that when you run it, you want to run it and then stop. You want to leave a good portion of your material still square so it doesn't spin on you. So you're going to run a portion to about here, pull it off, flip it, and keep repeating, but leave a section of it square so again your material doesn't spin on you, and you don't have to bring your hands too close to the bit. So we're going to do a couple different test cuts. We're going to use the sample pieces first. I may raise and lower the bit, adjust the fence, but I'm going to do that on all my sample pieces. Once I get this dialed in, then we're going to go ahead and switch over and do it on my actual hardwood pieces. It actually looks like I got lucky and nailed it on the first try. There's one slight raised section right here with a little bit of sanding, and let me put this over onto the bench. It fits in pretty good. It's not too snug. Alright, the next thing I'm going to show you guys is how to find the center of all of our dowels, because we're going to need that when we start drilling. It's a really simple method. You can really use anything. You can even use your finger and hold it at a known height and spin the dowel. But essentially you're going to make several reference marks. It's a really over-exaggerated method, but that is one way. If that can focus, to find the center of a dowel. And essentially the size of the space in the middle is determined by how much this is off of actually being dead centered. So if I had like a 3/4 inch piece, my lines would be a lot further. Oh, this is 3/4 inch dowel, but let's say this was a 10-inch circle. If I had like a 3/4 inch measuring stick, the circle would be a lot bigger. But if I had like a 5-inch wide stick and I was making marks, I'd be a lot closer to the center. But that's close enough for me to come back with a center punch and find me the center. I'm going to have to do that to all these dowels here. I've already done it to a couple of them. You don't have to go that exaggerated. But again, you just need to find the centers. And we're using a 3/8 inch drill bit. So even if we're off-centered, as long as you're not off by a ton, it's not going to blow out the side. But then another way, these are slightly under 3/4. I could just take my pencil with my hand locked into a steady fixed position. That was just me roughly trying to find the center with my hand. With my pencil set at that position, that's the circle it roughed out. So there's a lot faster ways to do it. Again, all I did was lock my hand in at a height and then turn the dowel. And each time you'll be able to find center. Let's see if we can zoom in. You can see that little dot in the middle that the pencil never touched. So, just a little trick. Again, all I'm doing is taking my hand, locking it. I can lock it this high, but that wouldn't do me any good for this dowel. So I'm locking it in my hand roughly about here. And all I'm doing is spinning the dowel and moving it back and forward. Didn't do it much that time, but it still gives you a centralized dot. That's how you find the center on the dowel. Alright, so how I'm going to be tackling this operation, I'm lucky enough to have this vise set up here for my drill press. I'm able to pivot it left and right, front and back, and all I have to do is actually set up my dowel in the vise, clamp it down, and line up my center punch hole with my bit. I have this set to drill a 2 1/4 inch deep bore. My push pin latches, they're about 2 inches, well, they are 2 inches deep. 2 1/4 gives me a little bit of wiggle room. And so essentially all I do is line it up to where it's just below this. I'm not even going to bore deep enough. Two things to be cautious of. One of them, none of these actually happen while boring the actual dowel. These happen when trying to push in the pin. I found a better method to do so, so I'm going to show you guys once we get to that point. But also be extremely safe. If you don't have a vise like this, definitely set up another jig on your drill press so you can do this safely. All right. I think I was set up to do a fairly short one. This one needs to come down. And just like that, I have another one done. And again, with that depth setting, all I have to do is again lower the drill press table to work for whatever dowel. Most of them are cut to about 5 inches. There were a couple short ones. I think this was the last short one. So I shouldn't have to raise the table up and down too much more. So if you guys did see the one dowel that I split, I actually split that one by trying to use my my wooden hammer or mallet and try to tap in each one of these push pins. That didn't work out too well. I ended up finding a better method because these push pins do have like a barbed end on them. Instead of trying to force them in with the hammer, which is going to split the dowel, I decided just to use my vise and slowly crank them in until I actually get them fully seated and then back the vise off. By not over tightening and not trying to jam it all in one go, you keep it from actually splitting on you. So that's the method I decided to opt out for. And then as far as the actual dowel holes, I needed to come back with my 3/4 inch bit and kind of bottom them out, try to get them all to a uniform depth so I can cut all the dowels to the exact same height. One issue with that was all my bits were pretty dull, so that actually took a good little bit. But now that we have the holes all walled out, the next step is to go ahead and mark them off for their proper lengths. And again, because this is on my hand tool bench, I wanted to be fancy and try to cut it with the handsaw. Wasn't the smoothest, so then I opted for the crosscut sled. Again, I'm trying to get better at my hand tool woodworking, but again, power tools, sometimes they're pretty powerful. It's a terrible pun there, but I'm going to use the crosscut sled to batch out the rest of these to length. The next thing I'm going to delve into is actually paste waxing and getting all these actually set inside the holes. After that, I can kind of show you guys the unveil and how everything works.
Wait, but it's definitely working. That's just it. And low-key, I low-key can probably tell y'all about getting toothbrush, but I'd just rather wait. There's no need to rush. What's now? Seems like you're going through some shit. I'm gonna holla at you.
Alright, so after a little bit of fine tuning and fitment, we have the dowels all working. The next step is to go into the paste waxing process, which is pretty simple. I'm just going to take a generous amount of paste wax onto a rag, apply it, and then I'm going to actually let it sit for about 30-40 minutes, and then I'm going to come back with a clean white rag and actually buff out all the dowels and all the holes. And again, I'm not trying to get a whole bunch of paste wax to glob down in there that I won't be able to get later. Again, you just want to get enough of it that is saturated and that it actually soaks into the wood, which makes them slide in and out of each one of these bench top holes really easy. So that way when it's time for me to use them, they're not in there stuck. And also all the time I spent sanding and getting everything to fit right doesn't end up failing me later. So everything's set up to about 220 grit actually, I believe, so they're all going to work out perfectly fine. They're smooth, and the mahogany and the walnut ones I think look phenomenal. and you guys get to take a look at it here, and hopefully you guys are excited as I am to actually have these inside of the shop. Again, not the best hand tool woodworker, but hopefully these allow me to step up my game just that much more. It's going to allow me to clamp various widths of boards onto my bench. They look really nice, and they're also pretty fun to play with, to kind of have them pop up and down like that. It's almost like whack-a-mole, so you can kind of push them down and let them fly off the bench. Not really what they're meant for, but again, they're able to help me clamp various pieces down to my workbench. They pop up about a 1/2 of an inch due to my, a little bit of math and the depth of the holes. They pop up about a little less than 1/2 of an inch, so I can pretty much plane anything that, I would be planing. If it's smaller than 1/2 of an inch, I probably shouldn't be, hand planing it. But again, essentially it works out anywhere on the bench. It's great. If you guys haven't enjoyed this process, please let me know down below. Smash that like button, leave me a like, comment, and subscribe, and then I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Peace.